So we have the Plat 5. Plat 5 review here of Genji. I don't know if you can play the Genji the whole time, but at least to start. We're playing on Junkertown. You have a pretty good synergy here with your diva. That is for diving targets. Already you kind of just walked past this tracer here. Like I get it, Genji's a dive character, but like when there's a tracer right here, like if you're going in here, right, like the last thing you want is for your supports to like get ate up by this tracer if she sits here. So I would just start right away by being if the tracer's right here, like super overextended, right? She's not going in the back, like she's not taking like a flank and coming around trying to harass your supports. She's being really stupid and walking up right in front of your team where everybody like if your Widow were to look down here and shoot her, like just instantly she can die. So she's like in an easily out of position spot. I would just stop here and like play with their tracer, move their tracer back, and then look to push up probably with your diva, depending on what she does if she's diving, or look for someone who's out of position there. You just kind of walk past her and like she doesn't seem to end up really doing anything, but that's good. You know, kid feel confirmed the kill on the Moira. It's a little bit dangerous to dash in, and okay, so you die at the trace. So I'm not sure if you noticed this or not, because you kind of like stop and stare at her recall, but you see her recall here, which means she is no longer going to be here. So there's not really any reason, or maybe you didn't see it, but she recalls right here, so you should immediately like be looking around to see where she comes from, because she just kind of lights you up and you don't really move. Like so for perspective, like she comes in here, right? She recalls here, so she's gonna go back a few seconds, which puts her right here. And then you just kind of like standing there, which makes you a super easy target. If you were turning around looking for her, you could at least like deflect, right, and give yourself a second to to recognize what's going on. So I think you just need to recognize like the different abilities that are going on. Like when Tracer uses recall, you know, you need to look around to see where she's coming from. Yeah, I mean this is good, but it's also there's a lot of misses on there, which I mean is just kind of mechanics to work on. I mean you can just be up here now, like never want to be just like sitting around, right? Like you're at 148 health. I don't know if you're waiting for her to top you off or something, but like being up here, right? You can just walk up like your Widow is and just be up here, right? Just farm ult charge off of this diva. Like she's a big, easy to hit target. The rest of her team's dead. Just go and farm ult charge off of her and like kill her with your team. Like you don't really want to ever be just sitting around unless you absolutely need to get healed. Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I see so far, to be fair, is like a lot of just your mechanics you need to work on, because you kind of like not here, but you turn, you see this Moira, right? Like your reticle compared to her, right? Like this is a pretty easy one to hit. Just make sure that like you're aiming, not like in the general direction. Make sure you're actually aiming with your reticle, even when you're doing dashes. Maybe she dies beforehand, but that's still like pretty off from where you should be looking at when you're doing that. Yeah, I think this is a good spot to be. Just up here. You could be kind of like going the opposite side of the building waiting, or yeah, just spamming here headshot level, hoping somebody walks through. Don't walk straight back and forth though, that makes like super easy headshot if they get like a Widow or something. Be moving back and forth to the left and the right. It's fine, just farming ult charge, but then yeah, I'll be honest, like I'm not a great Genji, So I can't give you like a whole ton of Tiger priority and whatnot, but like I'm not sure where you're dashing here, right? Like their Ana is getting zoned out. Like either A, she moves to this side and doesn't die, or B, she dies and then there's nothing to hit here. So dashing in here doesn't really put you in a good position. Like you can be back here with your team. Like three of their players are on your back line here. Like your Diva's out of mech. Like they could use help. And uh, being in here, like the only person you could possibly go for is the Moira, who's gonna be like super far over here. So I'm not sure why you're dashing into here. I think you're being a little bit liberal with your dash and always using it to get places instead of using it to finish kills and do a lot of damage with it. So now you're just kind of like walking around and like you should be over here already where you can easily get a kill. Yeah, again, like your dash here should be able to hit. Like don't just use it to, because he's already at 36 health. So like dash does 50 damage. Like if you have damage, or if you just walked up, like make sure you're in range for it, right? Like if you just walked a couple more steps, then you'd be able to just dash here and kill him. You instantly get your dash reset back because you get a kill, and then you can look for your next target. Just try to use your dash more for, yeah, like even that is fine. Like at least you're getting damage with it, right? But just make sure you're getting damage because like dash is probably like your easiest ability to get consistent damage with. Be very careful here because they're on a yeah and that. I think this is another one where you just walk a straight line and it's super easy for their tracer to headshot you because you just kind of walk in a straight line that they're on a, and you recognize their tracers there, but even if you deflect the bullets, then you could probably just kill their Ana with that. Another example of what you use dash for pretty much no reason. It's like you use your dash. It honestly looks like you dash your Widow here, which I have no idea why you would, unless you're trying to deflect pulse bomb, which you are not fast enough to do. So you kill yourself here. Um, and so Tracer is 51 HP. So if you just dash through the Tracer and do immediately turn in melee, she's dead. That's all it takes. Or if you fan and hit one shuriken and dash, the tracer's dead. If you dash into the tracer, right? If you're in range of her, but instead you dash into your widow and you die. Apologize, my voice is a little bit off. I haven't been awake for very long. So I assume you're looking for Blade here, since you're coming up here behind. Yeah, so this is something that, like, you're not gonna C9 this payload all the way to the end, right? Like your team is, I guess it's your Ana that's here, and your Diva is, I honestly have no, oh, she is in here, okay, I just can't see her through the wall. But your team is in here fighting, right? So like making this Ana would be huge. Like just walk up to her, right? Headshot once or twice, right? The second she starts turning around, just dash and she's dead. Like and then they have no supports. You kill both of these players, like your team just rolls the Reaper and the Reinhardt together, and then you guys move the payload all the way over to like here for free, instead of trying to C9 the payload when you know their team is respawning and they're going to be coming behind you, and you're just kind of standing here trying to C9 the payload. Like, it's just not going to work, you know, like. But also you should be fanning here. You should be using your secondary fire and then just immediately walking up to point blank where you know you're going to hit them all, and just, because if you get to the point where you can guarantee you hit headshot on her, like she dies in 2 shots, right? Like, or 2 shots in the dash at least. But now you're fighting this tracer, and so you guys end up getting their Ryan anyways, right? But if their Ana and tracer could have chased here, right, and potentially like, if they didn't back out because there wasn't really any reason to, if they just came here and like kept fighting with their Ryan, like then it would just be a 3-on-3, right? But if you killed the Ana at least, like made sure that she died and that was your focus the entire time, like she easily dies, and then you could still come through and kill the Rhine. Yeah, so I think the big thing is when you're like, again, I'm not great at Genji, but from what I like when I watch good Genji, like, like players, like especially in places like this, you have to be aiming for a headshot, right? Like you absolutely have to hit your headshot right here, right? Like you hit a headshot, like two headshots, and I'm pretty sure she dies automatically, or like a headshot, and then you dash through and turn and melee, and I'm pretty sure that's like his insta combo, right? But instead, when you go for the headshot, then you're too high because you're jumping, and she like never turns. Like this is a pretty easy kill, right? Like so, I think you just need to focus on getting your mechanics a little bit more because like she doesn't even turn to look at you at any point, and just kind of walks away. And then I think you dash through this Moira. Yeah, yeah. So this is a little bit tough. I think that honestly the Ana is still the easiest because you dash over here, right? And then kill her with one swing, and then you can look for the other ones, right? You don't want like to try to kill a Moira who's in Coalescence who has super good healing that can like get pocketed by the Ana, and there's a Reaper here, right? Like you still have to be careful. Just because there's three people doesn't mean that you can't die here. And then like you can see that she's kind of like already coming towards you. See how she moves from here to like she continues moving. That's why when you go through, you're going too far because you dash like over here where she is, but she's already moving away and she has really fast movement because of her. So actually, like you could have just waited for her to walk towards you, just because of her movement, and then she's able to just outmaneuver you. So like going for the easy kill on the Ana, who's like not, she doesn't have like the movement or any mobility like whatsoever, would have been an easy kill. And then after that, you can look at like going for the Moira or whoever, and you have to worry about them being pocketed. And again, like there's no reason to dash here, right? Like she's dead, and then you dash. Your dash you're just kind of using at like for no reason a lot of times. Like the Reinhardt is right here that you could turn around and help kill. Like you hear him going on behind you, but instead like it doesn't matter, he's gonna die, right? But you might be able to come in and like deflect this fire strike and save your Ash. Yeah, you could at least like try to help with the Reinhardt. You hear the Moira here, so yeah, you want this is fine. Yeah, I think that's good. Like yeah, going into a tiny room is normally not the best, especially when you know their team's coming. It's good hits, good hits. Yep, now you want to be fanning. No, you want to be doing your. So yeah, right from here, right? Like you want to be right from here, like that from that range. Yeah, that's good. Do your primary fire. From this range, you should immediately be doing your secondary fire. And this Ana never looks at you like at any point, right? So just be secondary fire. Just hit. Body shots, fan, right? There's no reason to back up here. You want to be right on top of these people because it makes them easier for you. Instead, you're trying to like track them and move away, and this actually makes it harder for you to, and you miss all your shots because of it. And then you have to use your dash early in order to close the distance instead of if you stayed up close and did the secondary fire, you hit her a couple times in the body, and then you could just instantly uh, dash through and use your dash to get the kill instead of trying to use it to catch up. Like notice how she never turns around because you're never like, I guarantee you, if you kill her once, like she'll actually start turning around and looking at you, but uh, you have to be getting value when you play. Like when you're playing like flank characters, like or dive characters, like Tracer or Genji, right? Like you have to be getting some kind of value. If you're um like eternally just fanning into the supports, but they're never dying because you're never able to like hit enough shots to secure the kills, you should just be playing like you're not really doing anything. And I won't say that to be mean, but like you have to be able to get value with this, or else you need to be different, going for different priorities and helping your team, and like just farming ult charge off the Rhine or something instead, and helping your team kill him and like target priority with them, Because if it's something where you can't kill the supports, then you shouldn't be going with the supports. Like at the very least, you need to be doing enough damage that they turn and they look at you, and then you take one player out of the fight. Because if you take no players out of the fight, you don't take their attention, you don't kill them, uh, then you aren't really contributing anything to this fight because you spent the entire time trying to kill someone, and then you dash in and commit. Like again, this that would be a lot easier to just right, especially with Reaper. Like you want to save your dash to be going at him afterward, right? You don't want to dash into his effective range where he does a ton of damage. You want to chip him down until he's really short. You can dash through, turn around, body shot that melee, and then just kill him. Because I mean, it does like 130 damage with that combo, something like that. So you did good finishing it, but up until then, like your team just kind of won that for you because you were just going after the swords, but they never turned to look at you, and you never took their attention, you never killed them or anything. So, and like here, their Rhine is like right up in your team, right? So just yeah, just sit here. So again, there's no reason to dash here, right? Like dash is you can sit here and just do your secondary fire, and you hit all three shurikens into this from this range easily. Just fan, 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 do a bunch of damage, get a ton of all charge right here. Dashing through him, A, puts you in an easy position for him to swing on you with his hammer or pin you and kill you right away. Um, and B, I mean, it just puts you in his line of sight. There's like, you don't want to be in front of a Rhine, right? At this range, that's not a place you want to be. Like all you need to do is just sit here and just farm a bunch of all charge, and then like he can't shield you and your team. So even if he's shielding your team, you can still freely get hits on him, right? Yeah. So again, you use your dash here when there's no reason to. Like dash is normally either to finish a kill or like close the distance if you really need to. This like there's no reason to really dash through this Moira because of like how close you are right here. Like you're not closing any distance, right? I mean, you could start deflect this orb if you want to, but you're still like jumping into the middle of three people somewhat here. And now that you've displaced yourself, you're now over here with no means to escape, right? So now you have to kill these people. If they turn on you like they do, then you're out of position because you just dashed through the Moira, but she wasn't low enough to kill, and even like if you dash through, at least if you just have to hit one body shot to kill her, then okay. But at this point you still have to hit like 2 or 3 body shots in order to kill her. So it's still gonna take you a while, and especially if she's an Ana right here that can turn and pocket her. You know, like Moira is actually pretty good against Genji, and so is Mei. So again, their Ana doesn't even turn to look at you. These two just come and kill you on their own. So I think just you're forcing opportunities a little much. Like you didn't need to jump on the third player there, or like into 3 players. You could have just stayed back without like fully engaging, try to like force them to focus on you without putting yourself in a 1v2 or 1v3 scenario, and then just kind of wait for your team to deal with the Reaper, and then you guys can all dive them, and then it's a lot easier. Like Genji is still a team player. Like you see how much easier it is. Like they're already shooting at you here, and or like they're already shooting at this Mei, so like she's super easy. You just dash in, you get a body shot, and then you can just go right out if you want to. Like that's perfect. Like the why if you play with your team, it's a lot easier. You come in here, you hit one body shot, and boom, like you already got value. Like as opposed to jumping in and trying to kill 2 or 3 people by yourself when like you see priorities. Like that's another part of Genji is like you don't always have to be diving targets. You can be playing with your team and then like peel or like use your dash to either finish or then engage kills that are for players that are over here and they're out of position or they're low health or whatever. Like and then now that this has happened, right now you can actually turn here and there's a half health Ana here that you could dash through and then body shot once and melee and she's dead. But instead you go for a Moira who there is zero chance of you killing unless she's really really bad because she does a ton of damage and self heals a lot. And so this is just, I mean, maybe you don't recognize the Ana there, but she would be like a super easy target, yeah. Like, yeah, you just had like the timing a bit off. It's a good blade though, very good blade. Yeah, it's unfortunate you die there, but you won, and you know, like there, I think you got really good value of your blade. I think if you killed the Ano there a little bit earlier though, I don't remember if they get. Yeah, I think it's just yours that they. Like, yeah, it's just one of those like you wouldn't get nearly as low from like this Ana auntie or Ana auntie, sorry. Right. Like if you had gone over here and forced her off, although you also probably would have dealt with her soldier, but you probably could have killed her beforehand, and you would get dash again. You can just come out. Like that's why it's really important to finish kills or go kills that you know you can do really quickly, because you dash in, you fan her, you melee, and she's instantly like your combo. She's instantly dead. You can just dash back in here, and then go back to finish this. But I think regardless, you plays pretty well because you obviously you come through here and you get the Dragon Blade. You know, you get enough kills that you make sure that your diva can just finish the Moira and then you win. Okay, so we'll go forward a little bit here. This is good. I like this one, right? Like you're taking a good angle. You realize the soldier who's out of position by himself. He's really low on health, and you come in and see how much more effective dash is when you use it on somebody who can actually die. Like you dash once and then you hit one body shot and he dies super easily. And now you have dash again that you can choose your next target. I think this one's alright. This dash is alright to get to position just because you know who you want to be going with. Yeah, I think your mechanics just need some work because you missed like 8 shots there, which is at point blank. Like you gotta be hitting those as Genji. Just not in the training range, but there's different like aim training, warm up, whatnot, codes that you can use. Yeah, I would not recommend going after a Mei for 2 reasons. One, if you do get to the point where she can kill you, she can just ice block and just heal back to full health. And two, she doesn't actually have to hit you with projectiles. She can just primary fire, and it's super easy to hit you and just freeze you to death. So it's a bad target, and she has a lot of health. So there's like 3 reasons not to go after her. Yeah, see that's really good. Yeah, you find the low health targets, you finish them off. Like, and again, that's you don't really need to dash here for any reason. And now you're in the range of that Rhine. So I think for the most part, like sometimes you do really good when like but you see how many more like you're getting when you just kind of like you use your primary fire from like a moderate distance with your team, right? And then you see someone who's low and can get killed, and how easy it is to run in and finish people. Like that's what Genji's really good at. Unless you're really good at like doing the combos and hitting headshots and stuff, then like that's where a lot more of like the flanking is coming in. But he's really good at picking apart like people who are out of position and like lower, or just people who are even low, right? He's really good at dash in, hit a body shot, kill a person if they're at like 100 health or whatever, and then he can just turn around and either deflect or just dash out to like disengage the fight. I gotta go grab my laundry quick, so give me like 5 minutes. I'll watch the rest of this. Alright, sorry about that. Thought I might have enough time with 20 minutes or so to um, finish this before my laundry went out, but fortunately not. We don't have too long to go. Good progress, so we'll see how defense goes. Um, I'm guessing with 4 minutes that you guys, yeah, so if it's 4 minutes long, I mean, you guys obviously win this on defense. Yeah, so this is something where, I mean, like, you don't really want to be AFK, just kind of jumping around here, right? Like, this soldier has been here the whole time. At the very least, just be taking pot shots at him, trying to, you know, reaction is just a little bit late on the dash. You don't really want to be up here for any reason, especially when you don't have dash ready to get out. This is very, very bad. You you just use both of your cooldowns to get in front of a bastion. Like, I get you want to try to deflect the bastion, but if this comes out, like, your deflect finishes before he's, like, out of turret form, then you die, like, so easily, because you come in here, right, their entire team could just come out here and light you up and you're dead. Like, it's very lucky that their tank is just AFK right now, or you might have died there. Like, he could come back at any point. So their tank leaves. Okay, so I'm not, unless their tank comes back, then oops. Yeah, so their tank comes back, the rest of, or their tank leaves, the rest of this doesn't really matter. So yeah, overall, I think, like, I think you're really good at playing Peel, but you're not so great at, like, playing backline Genji, which is fine. Like, there's you know, it's the same thing as Reaper, where, like, if you're playing, like, against more like a Winston, like, dive heavy comp, you're gonna be playing with your team more, waiting for them to dive you. Or if you know, you're not always, like, you don't always need to play flanks as Reaper or Genji. Like, they're a lot, yeah, they can play Peel from the team. Even, like, a lot of high elo players will kind of, like, switch between the two play styles of whether they want to be, you know, depending where they are on the maps and how diveable the targets are. I just think if you want to play dive and really be in their backline a lot, then you need to be able to hit your shots consistently. Because if you're not able to finish their supports, like I said, like, a lot of games, you're just gonna leave your team in a 4-on-5 if you can't at least get them to turn and look at you, like, a lot of the time. Like, at the very least, that's what you need to do, and then you need to be able to win those duels as well on the 1v1s. Which, I mean, if you're missing 8 shots like you did on the Ana, like, maybe it's just, you know, it's just a, you know, like a one-time thing, but that's generally not a situation you want to put yourself in unless you're confident you can win the duels on the supports, or save something like dash to get you out when you do so. Yeah, so hopefully I found this helpful.